Hey everyone, it's Michael from wordsmithmojo.com. That's wordsmithmojo.com. I want to talk to you a little bit about author platforms today. In the age of self-publishing especially and indie authors, one of the things that really separates the successful authors from the struggling authors is less about their work and more about their platform and how they do this. And so we're going to discuss some things about that. We're going to really answer the question, what is an author platform? And why do I need one? That's a question we get a lot. I'll make a separate video that is more related to how you actually go about making one. But in this video, we're going to address author platforms and really the what's and whys of it. So to start, whether you publish traditionally or independently or self-publish, whatever you're doing, an author platform is massively important in today's market. Since the majority of books are now sold online, it's more important than ever to have a presence in the places that your customers hang out. Your potential readers, where do they go? Where are they going to find you? And I group in this the traditionally published because most big publishers do much less marketing than they used to. They are really driven to get your books into stores, and promotion is often up to you to really get the word out. So this is good for everybody. So you want to be in the places your customers hang out. So how do you do that? Let's go back to defining what an author platform is. I think of it as a comprehensive term that encompasses your entire online presence. But it's more than just a term. It needs to be used as a strategic marketing tool. And that's really the difference between the author-artist mindset and the business mindset. Because if you want to turn this into a business, you've got to play both sides of that. You've got to figure out the business mindset and start thinking in terms of business development and promotion. So usually an author platform is centered around a website. But there's a lot more to making a web page than just, making a web page and pushing publish. And this is really where writers fail to capture an audience, which ultimately means their book sales slow and, so do their other potential income streams. Even many of those that do have a nice website and have a presence on social media fail in the strategic planning department because tying it all together is critical. And so here's kind of a list of the components that can help you turn your presence online into a marketing plan and a marketing platform. Number one is create a meaningful logo. Now, this can mean a number of different things. You want something that you can use across platforms that's going to be identifiable, even if it's just your name, but have somebody create something with your name that is a unique script and has something that's eye-catching so that wherever they are, whenever they see it, they're going to know it's you. Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com is a great resource for logo creation because it's cheap. I mean, mine was $20. I could spend days and probably have created it, but I'd rather pay $20 and be done and go back to writing. But the idea is that a common logo across all of your platforms help you unite your image in the marketing plan. I write under my own name, especially for nonfiction and magazine articles and in business settings. But I also have a pen name for fiction works. I've got a new book coming out next month at the end of August of 2019. And the name I wrote it under is TJ Tao. That's a new name for me, a new pen name. I'm going to write all of my fiction going forward, as far as I know, under the TJ Tao name. And so while I've got my name, I've got TJ Tao, and they each have their own social media profiles, but all of them look very similar. And there's a graphic that'll be coming up right here that shows you that not only do they all look very similar, but they all link back to wordsmithmojo.com. So wordsmithmojo.com is my central website that everything else revolves around. So this is where I ultimately want to drive all my followers and keep them engaged. So anybody on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and Goodreads and, you know, you name it, any other social media environment that you're on, the point is to have them sort of recognizable and all of them driving you to a central place where you kind of have control of the message they see. You know, whether that's a landing page for your next book, whether that's to the homepage so they can get to know you as an author better. Many authors like to sort of get a feel for who they're reading. And so that's a key component. Another thing is you want to have a presence on as many social media sites as you can. Now, you don't have to work them all necessarily all the time, but be there, because you never know where your next champion's going to be. I mean, you only need a handful of champions to start shouting about how great your book is for it to really climb up, you know, the charts and start actually making money. So work Goodreads and Facebook and Twitter consistently. You know, Pinterest, I think, is also very effective at driving people to your website. So I'm fairly new to Pinterest, but I've seen some pretty good results so far. So work Pinterest. All the other ones, you know, work when you have time, and you've got to work them occasionally so you stay active. But the key is to set yourself up so you're in as many places as you can. They're seeing sort of a similar or the same message and the same branding wherever they go. And so you become recognizable. So it's critical, even those ones you don't work regularly, to work them occasionally, post new stuff, post updates. But you don't need to spend a ton of time on it, because all of this is a time sink. But if you want to sell books, you got to do it. The other thing on your website you're going to want to have, or most writers have, is a blog. Look, you're a writer. Share your thoughts, your talents, your knowledge. That knowledge will help people engage with you on a personal level, get to know you a bit, build a steady stream of followers. And you don't have to write just about the subject of your book or about writing. You can blog about anything that interests you. You know, readers like to get to know their authors, and so you can be a little bit personal. Find a niche and kind of stick to it to some extent, but write about whatever hits you. But get regular content out there so you can connect, you know, with those readers once they come to your website. Then sharing your own blog posts on the other social media sites is a great way to get them to click on it and come back to your website, which is where you want them anyway. There's 4 primary reasons that you want people to come back to your website. First is so you can engage, which we've been talking about. So you can engage with your followers, which in this case is your readers, hopefully. Second is to let them see all of your offerings in one place. Because you might have nonfiction, fiction, you might have a kid's book, you might have a cookbook, I don't know. But everything you have is sort of centralized in this one location. And they can see sort of the scope of your work, and they may pick and choose, and that's fine. As long as they're choosing something, that's fine. The other thing is that to drive them back, if you have some sort of an offering, an ebook, a newsletter, something to keep them engaged that can attract people to sign up to your email list, that will help you exponentially down the road. These email lists have become the new gold. That's where you're going to reconnect with your readers every time you have something new to say. And if you've got a new book coming out, or if you've got your next, whatever it is, you start offering writing courses or just about anything else you can imagine, the newsletters and your email feed will be your first adopters, your early adopters, if you can get them. I personally hate the spam guys who need to send you an email every day. I do it every 10 days to 2 weeks, update my newsletter and send it out. But you can choose what's right for you. Some people love, they say, it's a numbers game. To me, I don't want to badger my readers, so I try and lay back and take it a little easier than a lot of these guys do. But that's a decision you've got to make on your own. But if you do it right, you can't, if you do this website right and having all the people from all the social media directed toward your website can actually become more profitable than your books. I mean, I've seen a number of authors that 50 or 60% of their income, of their revenue stream, comes from their blog or their webpage, whether it be from sponsored blogs, whether it's from advertising. There's a lot of advertising links and different things, affiliate programs that you can get involved in. But, if you get proficient at driving traffic to your website, that alone can be profitable and help you sell more books. And if you just want to sell books, that's fine. But you can be an Amazon affiliate and have your own link on a landing page on your website, and you're going to get that little extra spiff of commission on top of what you earn off the book because they click through your link. So, we need to make a living. Most of us are never going to get rich doing this. But all of these things are one piece of the puzzle, and you do it one at a time. And when you look at the whole thing as a whole, that's when it becomes an author platform. Because you can have a website and a Facebook and a Twitter and this, but if they're not connected together, if they're not unified in some way, you're really spinning your wheels on all 4 or 5 places, as opposed to concentrating it all back to your website. So now, I'm not saying that I have it down to an art form, but as a longtime business owner, I know that you need to give customers as many buying opportunities as you can. And to do that, you have to have a comprehensive plan. One additional side benefit, if you've gone the self-publishing route, once you've built a significant audience, publishers will start coming to you, not the other way around. So that's one thing to look at. I mean, if you're selling 10 or 20,000 books because you've got this great following online, then publishers will start seeking you out. Now, by that point, you may not need them. You may choose to continue doing what you're doing because it's working, which is perfectly okay. Traditional publishers aren't what they used to be. They can make a big difference in the right book, but for all the rest of this, if it's working for you, you can keep doing it. But there are other options and opportunities that come along because you do all of this. So it's really important that if you want to be a successful writer and make a living doing this, that you build a coherent platform. Without it, you're sort of floundering and you're trying to juggle all of these things all over the web and keep up with what's going on. And let's face it, social media is a distraction. It keeps us from writing. That's the thing that we want to streamline as much as possible, because all of the goodwill and the followers and readers and newsletter subscribers and all of those that you build now are just waiting for your next book. So think about it. Next time around, I'm going to do a discussion that's a little more in depth on how you go about building this author platform, but I hope I give you a pretty good understanding of what it is, and it's going to be a little different for everybody. But all the components and the ideas should be pretty similar. They're all pointing back to a central place, and that's where you drive the message, is in that central place. So thanks for joining me. Keep writing. Click subscribe, if you would, down there in the bottom, and you'll see my updates. I'm going to do a whole series on the publishing process, on writing tips, on as many things with book development as I can. So keep tuning in. Go to my webpage, wordsmithmojo.com. Sign up for my newsletter, because that's how you're going to hear about my next things. The end of August, my book by T.J. Tao called Burn Scar will be released, and I think you'll enjoy it. I appreciate it. Have a great day.